Just last week, I completed a year-long tasting of Springbank 10, and now it's time to do it all again with the 15. Hello and welcome back to the channel, and a happy new year to you if you're watching this around the time of release, and if not, I hope you're having a lovely middle of March. But anyway, today's video is all about this bottle of Springbank 15, me trying it for the very first time, and this will be the first video in a series of documentations about how this bottle changes over the course of a year. I've just completed the very same test with a bottle of Springbank 10. I started it in January last year, and of course it is now January 2025. That I'm gonna have to get used to saying because that feels really quite awkward. But yes, it is time to start that all over again with the 15. Now, the 10 I was nothing but excited for. The 15, I'm a little more reserved. Firstly, the 10 was excellent on the whole throughout. Yes, you could tell it wasn't the most aged whiskey out there, but in general, it gets great reviews by everyone and everyone pretty much likes it. The 15, not the case. I think it's fair to say the Springbank 15 is the Marmite of the Springbank collection. A lot of people love it, a lot of people loathe it. It's definitely a whole load darker. I am digging the green label way. I mean, this one's green, the other one's orange. There's no guesses by my shirt that they are two colours that I like quite a lot. But yes, it looks the business, but according to a lot of people, it may not taste the business. So, well, there's only one way to find out, and that is, let's get this thing open. Just before we do a bit of housekeeping, the ABV on this, as the Springbank 10, is 46% or 92 proof. 15 years old. Cost-wise, when I bought this, I got it from the distillery direct there in person. I waited in a car park for hours for it. If you've seen that video, great. If not, go and look up rare whiskey hunting in Campbelltown. It was all about trying to get a bottle of this, and I ended up, as you may be able to see up there somewhere, with two of them through to just pure, well, belligerence and not willing to give up, to be honest. But yes, I managed to get some. I think it was 85 quid a bottle when I bought it. Obviously, secondary market, it can go absolutely crazy. But anyway, let us break into it, shall we? Of course, the benefit of these videos is you get to find out over the course of the year whether it's worth paying overs on the secondary market, or indeed worth travelling all the way to Campbelltown to get one. Because, well, even if you live in the UK, it's not exactly a straightforward drive. The inaugural opening. Ooh, that was a good squeak. Now then, in the glass, I'm going to be honest, it's nice to have something else to look at other than the Springbank 10 because, well, I was getting bored given the same descriptors. Will be the same with this, but instead of that one which was quite light and straw coloured, this is deep, dark, rich, almost toffee kind of tones to it. Very nice looking thing indeed. It's one of the better looking scotches that I've got in my collection. I'm going to assume there's some sherry cask influence in there, if not bourbon cask or both. But yeah, looks very, very nice indeed. I've purposefully not done a lot of research on the bottle other than what other people thought about it in general. But yeah, in terms of specifics, that will be a fun story for another time. Anyway, how are those aromas? Not immediately Springbank, not immediately funky, fuggy and, well, wild, weird and wonderful. It's sweet, very woody and caramel, very, well, yeah, sherry and bourbon influence really. It's caramel, vanilla, red fruit sweetness, and just like a peppering, a tiny little hint that this is Springbank, right deep, low down. There's some proper Campbelltown funk just meandering in the background. I hope it comes to the fore a little bit more on the palate, because otherwise this could just be any, well, sherry or bourbon cask whiskey. But I keep saying that, I don't know if it is a bourbon cask sherry, I'm pretty convinced, but it's got the wooden, oaky, vanilla tones that I'd associate with a bourbon cask. So anyway, let's give it a go, shall we? Cheers. That is not what I was expecting. Now, to give it its fair dues, I'm going to give it another sip just to be sure. Tell you what, it's beautiful, it's balanced, it's flavourful, it's nice, it's delicious, but I'm not really sure it's Springbank. I'll be honest, this is the problem with it. If I had purchased this bottle from anywhere else, I'd have said, I've been duped, it's a fake, it's a clone, they filled it with something else and sold it on, because I'm just not getting that default Springbank, just that glorious Campbelltown funk character. None of it. I'm going to quick look on the back of the label here. And it says, Springbank is unique among Scotland's distilleries. Every part of the process from malting to bottling is carried out on the distillery. And I've just realised this is the same spiel that they put on the tin as well. Doesn't give us anything. Established product of Scotland. Nothing. No clues whatsoever. Give me 2 minutes and I'm going to come back to you, hopefully, with some answers.
A few moments later.
Okay, from their website, like a storm gathering off the Kintyre coast, our 15-year-old Springbank is dark and ominous, but delicious. Delicious, it's not that ominous, I'll be honest, it's quite approachable. Best enjoyed after dinner or with your favourite cigar, this is a true classic. Interestingly, it does remind me of some other cigar-orientated malts I've tried in the past. And it also says 100% sherry, which I can only assume means it's 100% ex-sherry cask that's been used in its maturation. It definitely shows. I'm not going to read any of the tasting notes on there because that would be cheating, of course. But did see it described in some other people's complaints that it's just a sherry bomb. The sherry has taken over, but it doesn't feel like a bomb, it's reserved. Of course, we've just opened this bottle, and before anyone piles in on the comments, I know it's not at its best now. That's what this whole test is all about, to find out when it opens up, how much better it gets, and what to really expect from a bottle like this. But let's be honest, we really won't get to know that until later in the year. So for today, what we're going to do is just a casual taste test to determine what I'm really experiencing right now. So on the tip of the tongue, sweet candy, like, you know, hard-boiled sweets, those kind of richer blackcurrant cherry vibes. It's nice enough, definitely nice enough. Over the mid palate, comes across almost like a simple fruited sugar syrup. Like, take simple syrup and just add a few drops of strawberry or raspberry in there, some darker tones, and the mid palate is what reminds me of other cigar orientated whiskies. When people call things cigar malts, it's just that they're meant to go well as a pairing. Now, I don't partake as a pairing, but if I did, well, I can kind of understand why, because there is a lack of flavour distinctly in the mid palate. It doesn't go full round, if that makes sense, like most other expressions. It's distinctly, well, just a bit empty in there somehow, some way. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it's just lacking a bit of flavour in the mid palate, really, is what I'm trying to get to. But anyway, then on to the back of the tongue. Richer, more vibrant, little bit of Campbelltown funk. It's not wet blankets and an old sheep barn. It's not doing that thing. It's not that funk, that fug, that weird, putrid excellence. I want it to be a bit more of that, but it's really not. There's just a tip of the hat, just a slight weird hum of funk rather than, well, the full experience. And the aftertaste is nice, kind of blackcurrant brandy, really, is what it reminds me of. It's the specific thing you can buy. I can't remember the brand that I've had before, but I've had it a few times. It's very nice indeed. Reminds me a lot of that. It's kind of floral, herby, and it's like a really tame Jägermeister. Like, the blackcurrant really makes it its own thing. And yeah, quite a long finish on that as well. It's still kicking around. A little bit hot, but not too much. It's balanced. It's nice. I like it. I think I might even say I like it more as a... I've got to be careful here. As a go-to, as an easy go-to, as an anytime dram than I do the 10. The 10, I've got to be in the mood for some proper Campbelltown funk. This, though, I could be in the mood for this absolutely anywhere. I don't know that it's... Is it a better bottle? It's probably a better bottle for more people, but if you were hoping for that intense Springbank just experience, it does feel a bit lacking. I'm hoping with age, with time, it will come around to its senses and really give us a whole new treat. But on opening, it's not what I was expecting. It is very nice, but I have to say, it's not worth running around the country to try and find it at 2 or 3 times the retail price. At its 85 quid, for, you know, a unique drinking experience that comes from a very unique distillery that does everything in-house and it's otherwise hard to get. If you can get it at 85 quid, I think it probably is worth it. But to be honest with you, I would find it quite hard to justify paying a penny more than that. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Of course, this is a year-long thing, so get subscribed now if you're not already to find out how this evolves, and hopefully in a few months' time this will feel like a very worthwhile purchase. But today, it's nice, but it's just not quite the magic I was expecting, and that really is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.